ratios, and percents.
For the rest of the program, we're going to take all this stuff we've been learning and use it in some applications.
We're going to apply for a job.
Yeah, we are. So I got an idea. Why don't you go and get your resume?
Section A, ratios. A ratio is a relationship between quantities.
This relationship can be expressed in a number of ways. Like fractions, ratios tell you how much you got in comparison to the whole.
Okay, I'm back for another example. We're going to do a ratio. There's 11 cups of coffee here. 5 are regular strength coffee, 4 are espressos, and 2 are cappuccinos. And they're all for me.
We'll put these into a ratio. You put numbers into a ratio by placing the colons between the amounts present, like the coffee, espresso, or cappuccino.
There are a total of 11 cups, so the ratio is 5 parts regular coffee, 4 parts espresso, and 2 parts cappuccino. We just stick in colons between each of these parts. This means that the ratio of regular coffee to espresso to cappuccino is 5 to 4 to 2.
Notice that there are a total of 11 cups. The 11 represents the whole in this case.
If we looked at this ratio in terms of fractions, then 11 would be the denominator, since it represents the whole, and the numerator would be either the 5 coffees or 4 espressos or 2 cappuccinos. So, the regular coffee represents 5/11ths of the total cups. 4/11ths of the total is represented by the espresso, and 2/11ths of the whole is cappuccino.
We'll do one more example of ratios.
Was completely and utterly decimated by the power of the volcano.
In a recent poll, 27 students liked the idea of having 2 jiu-jitsu masters engage in combat while their professor lectured,
while 28 students preferred the less violent game of handball.
So, there are 55 students in all, because 27 students plus 28 students equals 55 students.
So, out of a class of 55 students, we have that 27 preferred jiu-jitsu masters as classroom entertainment. The fraction is 27 over 55, or 27/55. The numerator, 27, is the part of the whole, or the amount of students out of all those sampled that like jiu-jitsu. And 28 out of 55 students are for handball. And this fraction is 28 over 55, or 28/55. So 28 out of 55 students preferred handball. It's that easy.
Section B, percent.
Percentages are the final application we will discuss.
You've probably been exposed to percentages before.
Percentages.
Percent comes from the Latin meaning per hundred. Basically, it's just a number over 100. So 50% is equal to 50 over 100. This can also be reduced to 1/2 as a fraction or 5/10 as a decimal. They all represent the same amount.
To convert a decimal such as 35 hundredths or 0.35 to a percent, simply move the decimal point 2 places to the right and insert the percent symbol to obtain 35%. Why? Because essentially all you're doing is multiplying 0.35 times 100. Remember, each zero represents a digit place. 100 has 2 zeros, so the decimal in the number you're multiplying 100 by must move 2 digit places to the right. Look at the number 1.695. To make this number a percent, we again move the decimal place 2 digits to the right, or multiply it by 100. So, the decimal 1.695 becomes 169 5/10%. Simple as pie. And when you're doing percent problems, write the sign like this, to brighten someone's day.
To convert a fraction to a percent, you divide the denominator into the numerator. Once you have a decimal, then you move the decimal 2 places to the right and insert the percent symbol. Or you can multiply by 100%.
Let's go back to our classroom example. Remember, a poll was taken recently showing that 27 people out of 55 prefer jiu-jitsu masters in their classroom. We want to find out what percentage that is.
The first step is to convert the fraction 27 over 55 into a decimal. We know that we can convert the fraction 27/55 to a decimal by dividing 55 into 27. Notice that the denominator is the divisor and the numerator is the dividend. After dividing, we get the decimal 0.49090909.
090909. Oh, sorry. Okay, now let's find the percent of this decimal.
To obtain the percent, move the decimal point 2 places to the right and insert the percent symbol. So we have 49.0909%. We can round this off to 49%. So 49% of the students prefer Jiu-Jitsu masters over handball.
This ends our study of percents and the basics of numbers and mathematical operations.
Well, you made it through ratios and percents, and as a special bonus, we're not going to give you a quiz, but that doesn't mean you don't need to know this stuff. It'll be on the final exam. For that, go back to the main menu and select the Basic Math Grand Slam. And if you have any questions or comments, please give us a call at 1-800-238-9669. We'd love to hear from you. And that, my friends, is
the end of Basic Math.
To continue your mathematical brain expansion, check out these other programs from the award-winning Standard Deviance series: Pre-Algebra, Algebra, Geometry, and Trigonometry. They're like jumper cables for your brain.